Greetings and welcome. I'm Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you're doing well. I'm guided and remain humble in the presence of Spirit. Trigger warning: the subject matters of a mature nature and deals with true crime events. Disclaimer: all cases are treated as alleged until proven in a court of law. So the case of Martha Moxley pinged during the week, and I'm recording this now, November the 3rd, 11 a.m. And a backstory to the case, if you're not familiar with the case. Unfortunately, Martha was murdered under really terrible circumstances, I must say. On October the 30th, 1975. Now, if you're not familiar with the case, there are two brothers that were next door neighbors, Michael and Thomas. And based on her diary accounts, and I haven't read all her diary accounts, I just found it quite interesting. And I'm not a writing expert, but she has lovely handwriting, open, one could say, writing. Her writing's upright. It's clear, concise, which means she's telling the truth in many ways. And the fact that it is neat and tidy speaks to her life path 4. People with life path 4s or dominant 4s love paperwork, admin, schooling if you're of that age. A very diligent number when dealing with school. Now, Michael was arrested and jailed for a lengthy time. However, and that's what popped up on my dashboard, is he has just been released. One could argue earlier than expected, or should have been released at all, right? Now his brother Thomas, I see when I did a bit of researching, there was a bit of a discrepancy whether he was involved or not. Now the situation is that Martha and Thomas were seen together last, and Michael, if I'm not mistaken, you're going to have to just check the case facts. Michael was seen also going over the wall. But the big debate is, were both, or was it just Michael? Because there's speculation that Thomas may have been involved, as he technically was the last person to be seen with Martha. And before we get into the case, I would just like to give a thanks to community members. Here's your names here. Thank you, Yolanda Sanchez, as well as Swiss Wish. Thank you so much for participating, and we now have the correct date of birth, I believe, for Thomas, who in my own capacity, I just couldn't find any information on him. And I wonder, if you aren't aware, both are cousins of the Kennedys. Yes, the famous Kennedys. And for some reason, he's now got off. But let's have a look. What I like about both their date of births is we've got clear, distinct differences. So we'll have to pick up, or we'll be able to pick up and see who was at the crime scene and just how much involvement was going on. Now, I'll just do a brief scan on Martha's date of birth. What stands out for me here, born August 16, 1960, she has triple 16 sevens. Triple 16 sevens. So on one hand, this is definitely an overachiever, particularly with the 4s, all the 7s. And I would imagine, someone with this amount of 7s is all about self-control and controlling her space. What I briefly read in terms of her diary is that there were issues with the brothers next door. It was like an off and on again kind of relationship situation. But be that as it may, 16667 is going to be a significant number here, because if we look at Michael, unfortunately, he has a 167 in his day, in the year that he's born, beg your pardon. He has a 167 in the year that he's born. So when we have a match like this, Martha has a 167 in the year that she's born, brings in, unfortunately, karmic elements. Karma. So she has lovely sixes in the day, 24/6. These are very engaging numbers. People with sixes generally connect very well with other people. 6 is the heart number. It's a connection number. It's a soul number. And born in August 8, we can just see, people that have dominant 8s are very present physically, and with all her 4s, and she has a very dominant 40 outcome 4. So as much as feminine as she is, she does carry also with her male energy, dominant male energy 44. And that is not unusual to see, but I believe, because I've been trying to determine, why would someone all of a sudden kill somebody? Was there a pact involved, or was it premeditated? We'll find out now. But you can see here, Martha, born even with a power number 22/4. She would have been industrious in her time. And this is, of course, we can agree, the heinous after effects of crime. And this is why we must never stop. So let's just have a look at the two brothers here. Michael, of course, Thomas is the older. We're just going to point out key numbers. I haven't started the chart yet, because I feel it would be good just to open up and we'll see what we get. But standout numbers for Michael, we can see he's got the 10 ones in play, 19, 10, 1, 28, 10, 1. Very much operational numbers. So all his numbers at the top here, in fact, all his numbers, in my opinion, you won't find a emotional, even in my opinion, a love type connection. Very much ones and zeros, if you like, computer type person. Now we do see that he has a 44/8 power number, and we note that he has a life path 8. Now 8s can also be, as mentioned, they're very present, so he's got an 8 there as well, which shares with Martha as well. But 8s can be very violent. I'm not saying if you've got an 8 you'll be violent, no, but the propensity is there for the increase in aggressiveness, violence, and 8 is a very physical number, very physical. People with 8s tend to be more physical than, let's say, in the mind, although he does have a 9, which is about the mind. So Thomas, the one that has escaped us, has a 14/5, so there's already potential issues. We have a 4 from the April, Martha has a 4, he also has a 4. The problem comes into play when, depending on your consciousness and your age, older males, well, he's born 58, huh? So he would be 2 years older. There would be an essence of the 4s coming into play as well, because unfortunately she also has a 4. Not unfortunately that she has a 4, it's more unfortunate that this idiot here has a 4, because that brings around elements of abuse. Okay. Now his day number, which is the combination of the day that he's born and the month, he has an 18/9. He has a 23/5 in the year. And here's where we start picking up issues in the negative. He's got a double 14/5 here, so I'll put my bottom dollar. This guy here can be a big bullshitter with these 14/5s. We also note the 41.5 and the 32.5. These are very destructive numbers. Very destructive. And I'm getting that sense now again that we'll have a look now, but the sense that I got during meditating on this is that Martha may have said something to this guy here and completely pissed him off or offended his masculinity in some way. Now, keeping in mind, she has dominant male energy as well. Very interesting. So this is obviously what they looked like. I don't know who's who in which case here, but this is what they both looked like at the time of the murder. So while meditating, I received a message in spirit. They dragged the body, because now apparently the crime began in the driveway, but she was found at the backyard under a tree. The message I received is they both dragged her body to the back. All right, so let's go in now. And if you don't mind, I'm going to do this kind of a long play and just see what we get from these numbers. And let's go for it. 10, 17. So we got a 22.4 here. 22.4. That's going to be very interesting. We have a 22.4 here with Martha. And of course, we have the 4s here with Thomas. All right, so let's go. I'm going backwards, or I'm starting on the day when they were last seen together. And we'll do a full 72 scan here. So here we go. You see, we get this dominant 44 energy here, which pings directly on Martha. We have a hidden 31.4, so that's also problematic already. So we can see here there's a dominance of 4s here. This is incredible. This is a dominance of 4s here. Look at the outcome here. 62.8. This is going to be pinging on the 8s here. But let's see. Let's go deeper. Let's get all the answers before we make decisions. 53.8. So this is going to be quite an aggressive day. 35.8. And of course, we are looking at this in the negative because we do know that a young lady was murdered. 17.8. So we got big days here. So of course, Martha has an 8 in the month that she's born. And of course, we can see here Michael, all these 8s pinging on him here. Alright, so let's see what we get on the turnaround. See, 31.4 is a problem, as we know. If you've been watching these crime shows, 31.4 is not a good number to have. I'm just trying to recall when they said it potentially happened. But I can tell you now, before sunrise, there was a deceased person, unfortunately. And look who it's ending up on. It's ending up on Thomas here. 41.5. Now, just keep in mind, before we continue there, the reason why I'm saying it's pinging on Thomas, the day starts here. We know she was last seen nightfall. So nightfall begins here. So technically the crime scene begins here. And will go into the next day. And that's why I'm saying the fact that it's landing up on Thomas is very peculiar. So this is all Thomas's numbers at the moment. 41.5, it's Thomas. Jumping ahead. 32.5. The question obviously is, if it was one or the other or both, right? Why would Michael sit for Thomas? So this is pinging on Thomas, I'm afraid. 63.9, or both actually. 54.9, or were they both planning to do this? 36, sick bastards. I'm picking up very negative vibes here. So what we'll have to do, so then the case continues here. The day, so October 30th ends with a 17.8 homicide, possibly here. We know it's more than likely the case. So let me just say this. Now, of course, we're just looking at on face value. We can go deeper, but if it's got to be in the crime scene as well. It can't just be in the plus 369. So, of course, yes, we have all the 8s here, which ping directly on Michael. However, when we get round, the outcome here is a 14.5. So we can agree there's definitely a murder, 18.9, 14.5, and we have all the 5s here, pings on Thomas. This is almost looking like they were both involved here. And I mean, the question I was having when I was meditating on this over the past couple of days is, then why would the one brother sit for the other? Let's see what happens the day before. Yeah, here's a problem. 39.12.3. So someone wants to take control of the situation. Someone has in mind for an abduction, 21.3. But the outward invitation would seem cordial. In other words, hey, I know my next door neighbor. Yes, I'll go over and have Halloween with him this year. That's what that 12.3 is saying. I know Halloween's here, but there may have been invites sent the day before or plans were made the day before. 61.7. 43.7, 34.7, 25.7, 16.7. You see, this 33 can speak about a party. So if we continue the line here, so the end of 29, there's all these 7s which pings on both Martha and Michael. 33 brings around an element of a party. So was there a gathering even the night before this all happened? Look what happens the day before. There's a conflict here. Another 10-1 conflict, like we've seen in the Delphi case, or Delphi case, beg your pardon, 22.4. And when you have a 10-1 issue, that is agencies, organizations, families even. 38. 38.11.2. So October the 28th, there's issues here already around these people. We have a hidden 22. So there's been some kind of emotional outburst on this day here as well. And with all the 2s outbursts, got 11 2. Okay, let's just complete this day and see. Beg your pardon. 60 outcome 6. 42 6. 33 6. 15 6. 15 6. There's a 24 6. Alright, October 28th. So we've got a 10-1, 10-1 conflict a couple of days before. So Martha has a 6 in the middle of her day. So whatever was going on here would have impacted Martha. The 28th, there was definitely something going on here. An emotional issue, emotional outburst. Which brings around instability, brings around emotions, impacts her. So we go into the next day. This was premeditated, ladies and gentlemen. In my opinion, look here. 29-11-2. This, for me, tells me there's a level of premeditation focused on kidnapping, abducting a female energy. 3 is female energy. 39-12-3, 21-3 is about taking control of someone. And the 16-7 pings on Martha. Now we're in October, so of course the 10-1s are going to be pinging on Michael. So Michael is ever present. Now once we start bringing in the 4s in October the 30th, that now starts pinging on Thomas as well. And we know Thomas was the last person to be seen with her. And yet the end of the day pings mainly on Michael. Was he spying on them? Was he jealous? But the outcome here pings on Thomas. So let me tell you what I'm getting, in my opinion, is that both brothers were involved. Because we have a 29-11-2 within, we can call it the 72-hour zone. So let me, if you're new to the channel, if we take a 72-hour scan, so we know the event happens in the middle day. I'm getting both. This was planned, but why would Michael sit all this time for his brother? Because look here, hidden 41-5, 32-5, 14-5 pings directly on Thomas, and it's still within the crime scene. Okay, let's go deeper. I'm going to go deeper in terms of the key numbers, I believe. Okay, so just bear with me. I'll explain what I'm doing now. Instead of drawing out all the charts, so we end up with an 11-2 in the +3 for here in this area. Do you see what I'm doing? In the plus 6 will be 14.5. So unfortunately, this plus 6 for me tells me the actual. Now the plus 6 is the physical human experience. 14.5, ladies and gentlemen. 14.5. Let me just see something else. 971.8. Alright, so let me just be clear. I've done a plus 3, plus 6 in this zone, and we've got a 14.5. Now I'm going to do the same for this part here. 34.7. Yeah, we've got a clue. The 14.5, which is already in play, so we get in the plus 3, we get a 17.8, which confirms the homicide, of course. In the plus 6, we now get a 37.10.1. Oh my God. Do you know what this means? Oh my God. This is why I'm experiencing this now as well. Do you know what 37.10.1, motherfuckers? Excuse me. But this now brings in parents. My God. Okay, so let's just be clear. The parents, in my opinion, they know exactly what happened here. So the plus 3, and let me just distinguish rather. The plus 3 and the plus 6 in the crime scene are suggesting the parents got involved here. I mean, teenagers aren't employed by higher ups, right? So the next higher ups for these idiots is their parents. The parents knew. Oh my God. So that may answer the question why Michael went to jail and not Thomas. They both premeditated this, I'm telling you now. So the plus, now I'm going to look at the 9s. In the plus 3 gives us the, I'm going to look at the bottom part now. It gives us a 12.3 and then the plus 6. So remember, plus 3, we saw it here, plus 3. Hey Martha. Meanwhile, they've already made their plans, but over the wall, hey Martha, we're having this cool party, Halloween party tomorrow. It's going to be a smash party, whatever. But then that 12.3 turns into 15.6. Little pervert motherfuckers. Older males behaving badly. So this now also then confirms Thomas, because he's technically the older one. Michael is born on the same year as her, 1960. Now Thomas is older, so 15.6. Now I'm in this zone here. The outcome in the plus 3, plus 6 of the outcome of the day is we have a 15.6 here. Part of it is a 15.6 which says older male. Thomas, older male. And I've just been pinged on Martha and Spirit. Go check your plus 9. What do we get? 18.9, ladies and gentlemen. 18.9, yes, we have a homicide. We have a homicide. But 18.9 also says something else. So why did the parents and everyone decide Thomas will fit the bill? Michael will go to jail, beg your pardon. And Thomas, with all his millions and his family, now we can bring in the Kennedys. I wasn't going to. Because technically, the Kennedy family, as we see it at face value, technically had nothing to do with it other than by association. However, when you start getting this pig number here, 3710-1, the family knew. Now we bring in clout. Who's going to serve us better in the future? How are we going to get Michael out his shame? He served all this time for his family. But let me tell you, let's not be fooled. 2911-2 is premeditation. If you want to take it on the literal, two people have engaged in murder or are about to engage in murder or criminal activity. Two people. These pigs. So in my opinion, I'll do a summary here. In my opinion, both Michael and Thomas premeditated what action was going to happen. And when the ghastly crime happened, the two wetbacks, the two wet nose, wet ears, run to mommy and daddy, 3710-1. Why have you got so much blood on you, Thomas? Why have you got so much blood on you, Michael? No, we're playing Halloween. Pigs. So in my opinion, both premeditated. Now we can argue it might not have gone according to total plan, but the intention was certainly to do harm to a woman, female energy. It happens to ping on 16.7, and there is only one 16.7 that got hurt, 16.7. Both knew what was going to happen, so therefore my message in spirit stands. They dragged the body. They were both involved in this crime, in my opinion. Why did Michael get out early? Who also just got out recently early? I mean, what the hell? It's not what you know, it's who you know, Kennedys. Welcome to the party, Kennedys. The family is involved, ladies and gentlemen. How disgusting. Can't believe it, the parents were involved as well. 3710-1. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. It turns out, and it's been like this for a very long time, it's not what you know, it's who you are, who you know, and how much is in the pocket. Please leave your thoughts and comments. I do love engaging with them. Have a lovely week. Be safe. Stay alert. See you soon. Bye for now.